Hi, I'm Petter, but my friends call me Pete. I'm so glad to have you back here because today we're gonna talk about what to do after you get your first camera. Because cameras are complicated. You open up the settings menu and there you find 10 sub-menus with different kind of icons and settings that you have no idea how to use. The camera has all these knobs and dials and scroll wheels, and it can be really intimidating to do anything but pressing the shutter button. But I'm gonna let you in on a secret, right? Because you don't really need to care about these things, at least for now. The settings of your camera is just to help you achieve your creative vision, right? So what I mean by that is that you need to have the picture in here before you get the picture in here. So before you head into the rabbit hole that is videos explaining camera settings on YouTube, I want to talk to you about a few things. Okay, so first of all, a little disclaimer here. This video isn't gonna talk about camera settings and the technicalities around using your camera. I think there are plenty of other super good videos on YouTube that is gonna explain that stuff much better than I can. But what I want to share with you is the more non-technical approach to using your first camera. Because I don't want you to focus on the gear and the specs of the camera you have, or the one you want to buy, or the one you're using. I want you to focus on using it. And that's the key word here, using it. Because the best way to learn photography is the same as with every other skill you want to learn. You have to do it to be better at it. And that is a trap that very many people fall into when they're starting this stuff. It's they get hung up in the specs and technicalities around the camera, and they thinking like, oh, I need a better camera, I need a better lens to take better photos, while it's mostly like the usage that's holding you back. And yes, of course, all the technicalities and learning how to use settings and stuff is very important, at least in the long run. But it's much easier to learn those things as you go along, and you find different like mental hooks that you can put these lessons on while you're using your camera, instead of just like memorizing all the different settings before you even go out and shoot your first picture. And then we come to my second point, and that is, why do you want to learn this skill? What is your motivation for going out and learning photography? For me, when I started, it was because I wanted to document my life with like not just pictures, but like aesthetically pleasing pictures or good pictures. And I couldn't rely on someone else taking those pictures for me. So then I decided I have to learn this for myself. That was my original motivation, and it's still like a very important factor to me. But as time goes along and you learn more about the skill, you also find like other things that motivate you, like getting better in this skill, or I want to earn money working in photography. Then you have like all these other factors also playing in. But you need this one thing, you need at least one motivational factor to get you started and get you out there shooting. So the camera should be an extension of yourself. You probably have hobbies or other things you do on a regular basis, and it could be a very good thing to bring your camera along and try to document and photograph these things. And if that is portraits or lifestyle photo or landscape, that doesn't really matter. The most important part is that you use your camera, and when you bring it along on a regular basis, you get to use it much more than you would just going out for a dedicated photo shoot. Okay, now we have laid down the groundwork here. Now I want to talk a little bit about what counts as your first camera. Because first of all, not everybody wants to make an investment and buy an actual DSLR or mirrorless camera, but just want to try this before they invest more money into it. And therefore, a very good way to start is with just using your mobile phone, right? Cell phones nowadays have super good cameras, and they have all this software built into them that also enhances your photos. So, and that is a double-edged sword, right? In one way, you get very nice looking pictures directly out of the camera, which is your cell phone. But it also can like limit you in a way, because you don't learn the basics of taking a good photographs, because the camera and the software is doing it for you. Because when you have a regular camera, you are in control. you control the settings and you control how you use it, right? There's no software that is helping you along the way. Okay, so what do you do if you don't have the money right now to invest in a normal camera, or you don't want to take that step just yet? Well, there's a couple of things you can do. First of all, you could rent a camera. You probably have a camera store in your city that rents out cameras. Then you can test things before you go into the investment of buying it. The second thing you can do is try to do what I did. Borrow from friends or family that has some photo equipment. And you probably do, like, even if it's an old camera or not a very good camera, you can borrow it, usually for free, or you can do like a trade exchange of services. So you get to borrow their camera and you maybe help them on their shoots, or help them with taking pictures of them, for example. So it could be equally beneficial for both of you. Okay, so there are some mistakes that I want to warn you about before you go out and shoot now. And these are mistakes that I definitely made when I started my journey. First of all, it's essential to make mistakes. This sounds maybe counterintuitive, but it's a very important point. And it's important to make mistakes and also learn from your mistakes, right? A very cliche thing to say, but it's very true. And I think it's very important to don't be afraid to make mistakes when you're starting out. And not all of your photos are gonna be good, and they don't have to be. The important thing is that you experiment and test out what works for you with your camera. And the second mistake that I made in the beginning is like limiting yourself to photographing only like special occasions, because I think that is a very normal thing to do. It's like you only bring your camera if you're going to a birthday party, or you have a gathering with your family, or something like that, right? But what happens then is you miss out on all the normal, mundane moments, and those can be equally beautiful as the special moments. Especially if your motivation here is documenting your life, because when you look back, it's not just the special moment that counts, right? The good memories are also among the mundane and everyday moments, and it's very nice to have documented that as well. And also, if you have more occasions to bring your camera, then you also have more occasions to take good photographs and using your camera more. And that is what is gonna make you a good photographer in the end. And for my last point today, I want to tell you, go out and photograph everything. Because in the beginning, it's very hard to know what kind of photography that you like the most, because you haven't tried it. My number one tip is going out and try to do as many different styles of photography as you can. Like, try some portrait work and try to do some car photography, try some landscapes, bring your camera on a hike and see what you can capture there. Maybe you get some wildlife photography, and then see what you're drawn to the most. And then that is what you should focus on. If you made it so far in the video, thank you. Holy shit, this means a lot for me. And if you enjoyed it, consider leaving it a like. It really helps out the channel and the work that I'm doing. And if you want to see more of this, consider subscribing. I would definitely like to see you here again. And remember, you will never regret having a good photo of a great time in your life. See you soon. Bye.